Okay, so this section is about pitch. And just to begin with, we have on our left side here a pretty treble clef. Now this is the treble clef, and originally it was called a G clef because this fancy symbol was actually how they used to write the letter G, and it signified that the note G was on this second line of the stave. So all the treble instruments like the violin and flute, piccolo, there's probably a few others, clarinet, all those guys, they actually play on this treble clef. And the guitar is written for the treble clef as well, though it's actually an octave lower in pitch, but we just read it on treble clef anyway because we like to hang out with the violin players. So there's the G clef, and it begins on this line when you draw this fancy G, and you can see here's my note G on that second line of the stave. So you could use that to memorize that that's where G is. This is the G clef line on the second line. Something else I use to help people memorize where the notes are is this note here on the middle line. This is the B, and I say that the B is in the middle of the beehive, and this is how I memorize where the B is. That's what I did when I started reading. I memorized B, the lowest note of the stave, which is on this line, which is called E, and then also the top note, which is called F. Now F and B are inside your range to memorize if you're in level 1. So here's our scale. Now just talk about these arrows, what I'm sort of signifying here, and this is just pitch going up versus pitch going down. So I'll sing a B note, probably won't be a B, but, but I'll sing a note, and then I'll go up in pitch, and then I'll do the same again, going down. B. You can hear my voice going up. Now I'll do the same thing. B. You can hear my voice going down. So that's what that means. This is just a measuring tool for measuring what frequency we're at. So the note B is here, and the rest of the notes are actually in alphabetical order. Some people learn by acronyms like face in the space. I prefer not to do that because sometimes people confuse it and they put it the wrong way round. Or they can't quite remember, is that way, or is it with the bass clef that it's different? It gets a bit confusing. I prefer just to remember that the whole thing is alphabetical and a few key notes. The note A starts in the second space of the stave, and here it is. So this is A. There's B on the line, C in the next space, and you can see how it's just going up incrementally from a line to a space to a line to a space. So this isn't the guitar strings. This is actually just a measurement of frequency. And then we translate that onto the guitars, where you find those notes on the guitar strings and frets. So it's not the guitar strings. Another way of visualizing it is actually this little chart here. Sorry, I try and get the the intense glare off it. Whoa, that's pretty hard to get the glare off. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in the top we have a big circle and the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and a blue arrow pointing to go the same direction as the clock. So when I go up in pitch, I go through those letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's no beginning and no ending. And when I go down in pitch, I go the green way, which is to reverse the clock, anti-clockwise. And that's A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B. And there's no beginning or ending. So A is not the start of anything and not the end of anything either. So when I get to the G note, I want to go up in pitch, I just go to the next A. So for example, G to A here. And then when I get to this G and this octave G note, the next note is going to be on what we call a ledger line up here is called A. So it's just a repeating circle. There's no start or end. And you're either going up the circle or down the circle. So that's that picture. So you can practice that. You can just say those letters and say them backwards. It's really fun actually saying them backwards. And then say them both backwards, if you know what I mean. So blue, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then green, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now backwards. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Now backwards. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now blue backwards. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. It's a pretty cool trick to be able to count letters backwards actually, especially if you can do the whole alphabet. Okay, so as I said before, this is an octave, and these two notes, though one is lower and one is higher, they are both called G. And so this note here is G, and this higher one actually vibrates at twice the speed. That's why it sounds like the same note, but it's just higher. And a good way to remember what an octave is the song Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. Somewhere Where over the rainbow. That first two notes is actually an octave. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies. Can't remember what the next note is. Are blue. Anyway, try and play this on your guitar to help you memorize it. It's much better rather than just thinking about it and memorizing it. It's actually to play it. So this is inside your literature that I've given you, and you can play through these notes using the line, the measurement of the frets and the strings. So have a look back through your documents. Okay, pitch.